In this video, we will discuss about two best non-overlapping events. You are given a zero-index 2D integer array of events where events of I is start time, end time, and value. The ith event starts at start time and ends at end time, and if you attend this event, you will receive a value of value. You can choose at most two non-overlapping events to attend such that the sum of their values is maximized. Return this maximum sum. Note that the start time and the end time is inclusive, that is, you cannot attend two events where one of them starts and the other one ends at the same time. More specifically, if you attend an event with end time t, the next event must start at or after t plus 1. So what they are saying is that in the input, we are given an integer array which is events where each element is having three values, right? The first value is denoting the start time, the second value is denoting the end time of an event, and the third value is denoting the value that we get after attending that particular event, right? Now what we need to do is that we need to attend at most two non-overlapping events, right? Basically, at most two non-overlapping events such that the value that we get is maximized. We need the maximized value, right? So now what do they mean by non-overlapping events? So if we try to draw all these events on a number line, then what it will look like? So the first event is starting at 1 and ending at 3, right? So we have an event here and its value is 5. Next event is starting at 2 and ending at 4. So we have an event starting at 2 and ending at 4 and the value is 4. Next event starting at 4 ending at 5. So 4 to 5 and the value is 2. Next event is starting from 6 and ending at 8. So we have an event here with the value as 3, right? So these are all the events that are given to us. Now if you will see, these two events, they are overlapping at this particular part, right? Why? Because the end time of this event, which is 3, that is greater than the start time of this event, which is 2. This 3 is greater than this 2, then that means these two are overlapping events, so we cannot attend them together, right? Another case is that the end time and the start time of the two events should not be equal, right? The start and end are inclusive. So basically we see this particular event, it is ending at 4, right? And this particular event is starting at 4. So these two will be considered overlapping at this particular point, so we cannot consider them together, right? So for any event, the other events that we are considering should have their start time greater than the end time of this particular event. Then it will be considered as non-overlapping events, right? So we need to find out at most two non-overlapping events such that we can maximize the value that we are getting, right? So now how are we going to solve this? So see, the number of events that are given to us in the question are 10 to the power 5. The constraints are 10 to the power 5. So then that means we cannot go n square, right? If we could go n square, then we could just consider every event and we could compare it with all other events. And wherever the event is a non-overlapping event, we could find the sum of their values and we could maintain the maximum value that is found in all the events, right? But here we cannot go n square. We will have to think of some other solution. So now what we can do? So what we can do is that for every event that we are considering, we will compare it with the elements that have already been considered, meaning which started before this particular event, right? So if let's suppose my start times are 1, 10, 15, 2, like this. So if I am not considering the elements with all other elements in the array, basically if I am not considering an event with all other events in the array, then for this 10, if you will see beforehand, we are having only 1. 2 is present afterwards, right? Basically, these are the start times that I am saying, that an event is starting at 10 and here an event is starting at 2, right? So before I consider this event, I should have considered the event starting at 1 and 2. Basically, all the events that would have started before 10, right? So for that, what we can do is that initially we can sort our events array on the basis of the start time in increasing order, right? So first we will sort this events array. So I'll just write here sort events array, right? Now here you will see that this is already sorted 1, 2, 4, 6, right? So in our case, it is already sorted. Now that it is sorted, what I said that For every event that we are considering, we will try to find out an event which we have already considered, which is non-overlapping with this particular event, and what is the value that it is giving me, and whether it is my maximized value till now or not, right? So basically, first of all, you would be considering this particular event, right? So this is starting at 1, ending at 3, and the value is 5, right? Now you should know that whatever event I am considering right now, then which is the event that is present before it, which is a valid event, valid meaning non-overlapping, and which is giving me the maximum value, right? So basically, I should know the previous maximum at all the times, right? So for the first event, it will be 0, right? So I should be knowing that which is the event which was present before this and which is giving me the maximum time by following the condition of non-overlapping, right? And I will also need to know the answer. So initially my answer will be 0. So now that I have considered this particular event, so here there is no previous maximum, right? So the value of this event is 5. So in answer it will be updated to 5 because 5 is greater than 0, right? So this is done. Here we have considered only one event, which was this. So answer is 5, which is its value. Next, we will consider this event. So it is 2, comma 4, comma 4. So basically the start time is 2, end time is 4, and the value is 4. Now, what are all the events that we had already considered? We had considered this particular event, right? Its end time is 3 and the start time of our event is 2, right? 2 is smaller than 3. So then that means these two are overlapping and we cannot consider them together, right? So previous maximum will remain the same and we will add this 0 and 4. So this will give you 4. 4 is smaller than 5, so the answer won't be updated, right? Next event that will come to us is an event starting at 4, ending at 5, and the value is 2, right? Now, before this, we had considered these two events, right? So, for the first event, if you will see, it was ending at 3, and this event is starting at 4. So, then that means these are non overlapping and they can be combined together, right? So, what we will do is we will remove it from our list, and whatever is its value, that we will update in the previous maximum, right? So, previous maximum is 0, 5 is greater than 0, so previous maximum will become 5 now, right? Now, why we have removed this from the list? Why? It might be possible that for some other event in the future, this 5 and that particular event's value combined gives me the maximized value. So, see, if this particular event is able to combine with this particular event, combine meaning that we can attend both the events together, then whatever events that are happening after this, they can also be attended together with this particular event, right? Why? Because we had sorted our events on the basis of the start time, right? And for this event, whatever is the value that we have already stored in the previous maximum, right? So if let's suppose there are no other event in the array where the value is greater than 5. So in the previous maximum, you would be having the value of this event, and for others also, you would be considering 5 only, right? If there is some other event which is having greater value than 5, then previous maximum will be updated to that greater value, right? So this is the reason that we are removing it from our list, right? Then the next element that we had considered was this. Now here the end time is 4, the start time is 4. So these two are overlapping, so we cannot consider them, right? So what we will do, whatever is the previous maximum and whatever is the current event's value, that we will add. So it will be 5 plus 2, 7. 7 is greater than 5, so answer will be updated to 7, right? Then the next event that we are considering is starting at 6, ending at 8, and the value is 3, right? So these two are the events that we had considered before. Its end time is 4, the start time is 6. These are non-overlapping. These can be attended together. So we will remove this and its value will be updated in previous max, but previous max is already greater than 4, so it won't be updated, right? Then we will consider this one. So in this particular case, ending time is 5, starting time is 6. These two are also non-overlapping. So we will remove this. The value is 2. Previous maximum is already 5, so it will remain 5 only. And then since there are no events left to compare, so for this, whatever is the previous maximum and the value of this event, that we will combine. So 5 plus 3 will be 8 and answer is 7. So 8 is greater than 7, so answer would be updated to 8, right? And now we are done with all the events. So the answer in this particular case is going to be 8, right? 5 plus 3, 8. So this is how we are going to do, right? So whatever are these events that we are storing, that okay, for a current event, what are all the events that we have already considered before? These we are storing somewhere. Now we need these events in sorted order of end time. Sorted order of end time. Why do we need them in the sorted order of end time? Because for a particular event that I am considering right now, for my current event, I need to know that what are all the events that have already ended before this particular event starts, right? That is why we are sorting them on the basis of end time, right? So let us suppose here 8 was present, right? And here 3 was present, right? So in that case, this particular event would be overlapping with our event, right? But this won't be. So I need to consider this one first, right? And then I need to go for this, because I need to first find out that what are all the events that have already ended before this particular event starts, right? That is why in this we are storing the events in the sorted order of end time, right? So for this we can maintain a priority queue, right? We can maintain a priority queue which will be a min heap, because we want the end times to be sorted in increasing order. The smallest value should be present at the top. So that's why we will create a min heap. And in that min heap, we can store our events, right? Now, see, there is no need of storing the start time in the heap. Why? Because for the events that have already occurred, we do not care about their start time. We are only comparing the start time of the current event with the end time of the events that have already considered, right? So, inside this min heap, we can store a pair of end time and the value, right? So, you'll store a pair of end time comma the value. This is what we will store. So our min heap would by default sort our elements on the basis of the end time, the first value in the pair, right? So this is how we are going to solve this problem. So let's quickly look at the code. So first of all, we will create a priority queue. Now it will store a pair. So pair int comma int, right? And since it is going to be a min heap, we will have to write vector pair int comma greater pq, right? So this is our min heap. Next we need to sort our events array, right? So sort events dot begin comma events dot end, right? Now, once we have done this, we will declare our variables. So one will be previous maximum, which will be 0 initially, and one will be our answer. This will also be 0 initially. 0 because let's suppose we are not considering any event. We are not attending any event. So in that case, answer is 0, right? So now we are going to iterate inside our events vector. So for auto event in events, right? Now inside this, we need to check in our min heap that what are all the events which have already ended before the current event starts, right? So while my PQ is not empty, right? While it has some size, and PQ dot top dot first is less than event of 0, right? So basically we are checking that the end time of the event that is present in the min heap should be less than the start time of the current event, right? Strictly less. Only then these two are non-overlapping, right? So in this particular case, we will update our previous maximum. So it will be maximum of previous maximum, comma, PQ dot top dot second, right? In the first value, we had stored the end time, and in the second value, we are storing the value, right? And then we will pop it from our min heap, right? Now, once we are done with all such events which have already ended before this event starts, so we will update our answer. It will be maximum of answer, comma, the previous maximum plus whatever is the value of the current event which is present in event of 2, right? And then we will push the current event inside our min heap. So first value will be the end time, which is event 1, and the second value is the value which will be event 2, right? And at the end outside, we can return our answer, right? So let's quickly run the code. So our test cases are accepted. Let's submit this. So it got accepted. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe our channel.